So this is an interesting question on scope. At least it's a question that highlights something on scope in Python. And the question is something like this, which is we create this function, we define a function, and inside the function we create a variable. We create a variable called value, and we assign it global. And then we assign this value. We assign this value the string local, so it's now input local. And outside of this function, we say that value equals global, and then we run this function and we print the value. And the question is what actually comes out of this. So we've got our four options over here. Is it going to be local? Is it going to be global? Is it going to be none, or can it not be predicted? So at this point, maybe like stop the video and to like have a little think as to what you might answer it. And now I will go through exactly that same thing on the video. At least we can attempt to have a prediction of it. So what I might do is just, I've got my VS Code on the side, so I'm going to just try and run this. So we'll create this function, and I use 4 spaces. I think that one used 3 actually. So let's just define our function over here, and we're going to name our function. Well, we could keep it as function actually, it's fine. And then we don't need the docstring, but what does this return as a question to ourselves? And the first thing we do is we do global, okay, and value. So our variable here is now a global variable. Maybe or maybe not, that's a clue as I'm going through all of this. So the next bit is we say value equals local, equals quotations local. Right, so now we've assigned this global variable, which is value, we've assigned it the string local. So that's what it is. And the next line of code outside of the function, so in the actual global namespace as it was, we say that value is equal to, and you might have a hint already because this value popped up in the IntelliSense and picked up in blue, which meant that it was recognized, and maybe it's in the code or not here. So anyway, we say that this is global, and then we want to run our function, which in our case is called function, and we want to print what the value is. And the question is what are we expecting for value? And our options were going to be, I should really put this at the top because otherwise it might print out our string here. I'll do it like this, just as a comment. Actually, no, I should do it as a block comment because there's 4 options there. So, and in fact, I can, I believe, just copy all of these in here. So the question is what's the output? Is it going to be is it going to be local, global, none, or cannot be predicted? Now, if it was a none, we are returning nothing back from the function, but we're not actually here looking to, if this was like result and we try to here and we try to print result, that would return back none. So we can kind of like rule the none out straight away. The hint or the clue maybe is that we've set this value to be global in the first instance, and when we run our code, Python runs sequentially. That's what it does. It goes from top to bottom like this. Now this function gets read into the code, but it hasn't actually been executed per se. Its execution actually only comes here, and maybe that's a hint because the first value that value takes, our value, is a little bit confusing having the actual variable called value, but the first value that value takes is global. It takes this string, it's assigned this string called global, and then we run our function, and inside the function we're told that value is global. So this is actually referring to something outside of its namespace in the global namespace. And again, I kind of gave away the hint when I said in the global namespace. So we should be overwriting this value as local. So what we're presumably, so it starts off as being this. So I put a little tick there. We know that we ruled out none. And then afterwards, it ended up being not that, because it ended up being local, because this piece of code from line number 19 then executes the function which creates this, which reassigns the global value to local, the string local. So that's what it should print. So let's just have a look at this running. We can run it on the side just to see that. So our prediction is that it'll be local, and indeed we get local, and that demonstrates the global namespace. So, and what we're talking about here is that this piece here is global, and inside here we are, I'll put it after the doc string, but anywhere inside here we are local into the function. So the way of sharing a variable inside and outside or between the namespaces is by using this global keyword, which means that we can now move between global and local, and that's scoping. Everything is usually retained within its scope, but you can share between scopes if you needed to. And that's, but it's by the way, this is poor practice. A better way of doing this type of thing is actually to return something and get it there, because you have more control, or at least less confusion for bigger code blocks. But that is pretty much scoping in Python and the global and local namespaces. So thanks for watching. Thumbs up if you got it right. Thumbs up, like, leave your comments, follow, like, and all the rest of it. Thanks for watching this video on scoping in Python.